Hey everyone, James here, and today I am back with another update. And this one is actually of a finished build, finally. So in my last update video, I had talked about how I was going to be doing this Wild West scene, and I have finally finished it on up. As you can see here, it is really large, it's really deep. Since it's a scene, it was built for basically one picture, which is roughly that angle right there. And I'll make sure to put the finished version, the final picture, and probably some detailed pictures probably at the end of this video, just so you guys can see what it really looks like and have links to them down in the description below. But I thought it would just be cool to go ahead and kind of go over some of the stuff that I did for this build right here. So I'd started this. Well, I hadn't started the scene, but I made some of the figures, like that prospector guy and the sheriff over here. They were both minifigures that I'd made way back in 2019, and I liked them enough that I really wanted to do a whole Western build. And so I decided to do this scene, and I started with the bank right here. So that facade with the lettering, and you can kind of see down there. It's hard to see with some of the posts and stuff in the way. I did actually kind of do like a little interior thing for this because I wasn't sure what angle I would be showing, but here is a little safe design that I made, which did not end up visible in the actual final picture, but still like how that turned out. But so I started with that a while back, and then finally went ahead and worked on finishing this up in the last few months. And mostly what I had done is I started with that building, and then I built the other buildings, and then I built the ground here and all of that, and then some of the final details and stuff over here. Right at the end, just as I was like basically building with the camera in position so that I could see what it was finally like, and then just filling out the rest of the picture. So I'll just go ahead and show, yeah, so you guys kind of already saw the bank. We had just this roof right here that I did. They didn't, I don't know, I just wanted to do some sort of a roof for one of the sides because that's a pretty classic thing for the old Western towns, was like the wooden boardwalk with the cover on them. And so we have the same thing over here, but a different building design. I'll just take this thing off because I've already gotten the final picture, so it doesn't really matter now. And I used a different technique for this one with the angled tiles right there. So that's just tiles built on plates that are, you can kind of see it here. Actually, I should just move this. So these right here, these base plates, were just to help block light. I had to block light there. I also had to put up this piece of paper over here to block light because I was getting really bad reflections on a bunch of stuff. So, but I don't need those anymore. So remove that stuff. But on the back of this, you can see that those were just plates that were stacked up and offset, and then tiles on them. And then I used hinges here to angle them. And so that's how I achieved that look right there, which you can't really even barely see in the final thing. You also can't see that door very well, which is kind of a bummer because I like how that door looks with the Harry Potter wand boxes. I think it looks pretty cool. And then over here, the other buildings, we've got this sheriff's department right here. This one's super simple done. It's just tiles to make kind of that wood paneling. And then we've got a like jail cell right there with a guy in it right there, which is kind of cool. Took a little bit to get that window kind of offset with the trim around it, using jumper plates and tiles and such. And then a different type of door right there with just stacked plates and tiles and such. And then over here I got to use some of these like various wanted posters just as little details. And I don't think they're actually visible in the overall final shot, but I do have a detail picture I took of those. And then the last building right here is actually built the same way as that white door right there. It's just stacked plates and tiles in dark brown, and then I used old brown as well, just because I thought that that went pretty good together, and it's slightly different from the rest of it, so it just makes the color palette a little bit more interesting. And then some of these tiles actually, I don't know which ones, but some of them aren't actually held in at all on any side, so I had to be careful with that building to not bump it and have them all fall out. But yeah. Actually, same thing with that window right there. That is not held in place in any portion of it, so it is just resting in there everywhere. And then, so I'd taken the picture, kind of what I was, like I said, I built the buildings and then kind of was building with my camera right here so I could see what I needed to add in. And I sent it to some friends, and they were like, it's kind of missing some stuff on the right side over here to balance out the height of the bank building. And I agreed, so I ended up building just this super simple thing right here. It's just supposed to be the top of like another building in the back. And so it's literally just tiles at a 45-degree angle, or at a 90-degree angle, but then rotated so that it makes the roof peak. Also did this really simple water tower right here, which is not connected like at all. And this is just built with a gear and some tank treads right there around it, which these 1x4 tiles can then slot into. So did that for a little water tower. Again, just try to provide some height in this right corner. And also this sheriff sign, that also kind of did it, just added a little bit more of another detail. And I actually really like how it turned out. I think it looks pretty cool with those Unikitty tails right there to make it look a bit more ornate. So yeah, and it was fun to actually get to use some of these stickered and printed pieces that I have, but I rarely use in builds. And I finally got to use some of those in this one, which was cool. And then back here, we've got this little horse pen with these Duplo fences. Apparently, they're an old Duplo part, but I think that they actually work really well for minifig scale stuff. And so used them for this just because it looked really cool, and you don't actually see them that much in the pictures, but I like them a lot, and so maybe I'll use them for, I'd like to do another Western build that's more of like a diorama that I could actually take and display at a convention or something, so maybe I'll get to reuse those again. Also, I like that cactus design, even if it's super simple. I think they look pretty good and just have like kind of a classic Lego feel, so I'd like to use those in another build as well. And then one of my favorite parts about this build, but also the thing that probably caused me the most pain, is this sky back here. And from the beginning, when I came up with this idea, I knew that I wanted to have it kind of like a scene where you're looking down the road right here at like a bandit and then a sheriff that are facing off, and with the sunset in the background. I just thought that would be really, really cool looking. And so I had, like, from the beginning I had a gradient, which slightly changed. This is what it ended up being. It had red and magenta in it to begin with. And I just kind of stacked up that, whatever I thought made a good gradient. And then towards the end is when I actually went ahead and built this guy right here, and it's actually built off, or based off of, kind of with the colors in the sky and kind of the purple on the bottom of the clouds and stuff. It's actually based off of a sunset that I saw and took a picture of many, many years ago. So maybe I'll throw a link to that in the description as well. But so I built it off of that, and as you can see, I really built it just to view from the one angle like this, where you don't see the parts that is missing on the left and on the right there. So it was built specifically for this one angle right here. I pretty much ran out medium blue bricks. I just have a few left after that because it's quite a lot. But then I got to use a bunch of other fun old colors. So the actual clouds right here is actually blue violet, and then this is a line of blue violet right up there as well, and right above it is violet. So it made building that a challenge because of the limited part selection there. So all that violet is actually just the back flat side of 2x3 slopes, and then a bunch, I guess I can show you guys kind of here. So a bunch of the other stuff is also slopes and brackets and stuff in those colors right there. Like I said, just because I wanted to use those colors, I thought they made a really nice gradient, but it did make it more difficult to do shaping wise and stuff. But then what was really the pain with this was actually photographing it, because as you can kind of see from this angle right here close to it, I ended up with this like horrible reflection right there, and also have kind of some up in the sky there. These plates that I had on top were kind of to try and prevent some of that happening from the lights in my room, which normally I have off when I take pictures of builds, but I needed them on this time to get enough light down here on the buildings and stuff from right directly above, instead of just the light from my windows that comes in at the side. But they were making bad reflections and shadows on the sky, so I had to do that. And then because of some of those things, and also just because of how deep this build is, I mean, you can even kind of see it right now. My camera is not focusing all the way back on the minifigures because it's just so deep and I'm close to it. And so I actually ended up focus stacking the overall build, just taking a bunch of pictures. I think it was like 10 or something of pictures from the two gunmen down here in focus all the way up until right around this area here. I don't remember exactly what I had in focus and out of focus up here, but so I took a bunch of pictures to do that right there. But when I did that, the picture at the farthest back was still, the sky was not blurred as much as I wanted it to be. You could still really tell that it was Lego, and I wanted it to be, you could be able to tell that it's Lego, but not to be able to see like the individual lines between the bricks was kind of my goal with it. Just because I think that ends up making it, especially if you see light poking through from behind, it makes it not look very pleasing for a sky. But I like brick built skies overall. I think it's just a really cool thing when you can do it. And so I ended up taking a picture of that sky. I actually moved it over here onto this base plate, set my camera up at the same like distance back from it, and took a picture of it with just nothing behind it, or nothing in front of it, I mean, so that I could then go ahead and basically I cut out on the computer, I cut out all of the different shapes here that touch the sky and to transparency, and had the picture of the sky from over here as my back layer. And that ended up working and getting rid of I was able to get rid of all the reflections and stuff like that, but it took a long time to do that. And then I still ended up having to like go in and fix a few things, like that water tower was too blurred, so I had to take another picture of that thing and paste it in individually. But I am very happy with how the final picture turned out, I think, and really just how this scene turned out overall. It turned out pretty close to what my original vision is, which is awesome, and I'm very happy with that because I liked the original idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it for, I think, the techniques in this one. There wasn't necessarily a huge amount of complex stuff going on. I kind of just dragged my feet on doing this a bunch because I knew that photography would be a pain for it, and it was taking up tons of space, so I finally pushed through and got it done, and I'm happy with it now. But yeah, that's also going to be all that I have for this update here. I have been working, I actually finished up a different build recently too, one for Dronuary, which has already been posted on Flickr and such, and I'll probably do a video of either before or after this one showcasing that, so I won't show it now, and some other stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and work on taking this thing apart so that I can finally get back the pieces and get back basically like pretty much my whole table to work with. But yeah, that'll be it for this. Just ask if you have any questions about specific things in the comments below, if you have any questions about techniques or anything like that. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.